Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back once again to Today in African History with Baba Shaka. I'm Baba Shaka, and Ramadan Mubarak to all who are observing the fast during this blessed month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your fast, reward your good deeds, and forgive your misdeeds, inshallah. Today is April 15, 2021. And it is the birthday of the man who became the first and only African to be elected mayor of Chicago, or as some would say, Chi-Town. Born on April 15, 1922, Harold Washington was Chicago's first African mayor. He grew up in the city he spent his career trying to help, Chicago. His father was a police officer and a lawyer, and his mother was a singer, and Mr. Washington attended the city's public schools, but he left high school before earning his diploma, and in the early 1940s, he went into the military to serve during World War II. But after the war, Mr. Washington received a GED and headed off to college. He earned a bachelor's degree from Roosevelt University in 1949, and continuing his studies, Mr. Washington enrolled in law school at Northwestern University, where he was the only black man in his class, and completed his law degree in 1952. In 1965, Mr. Washington won election to the Illinois House of Representatives, where he served the city's 26th district for roughly a decade or so, supporting legislation to advance equality. Mr. Washington also sought to make the birthday of slain civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. a statement holiday. Now, not one to toe the party line, he sometimes went against the wishes of his state's Democratic leadership. During his time in the legislature, Mr. Washington ran into one serious legal problem. He was convicted of tax evasion for not filing tax returns for several years. And for his crime, Mr. Washington spent 36 days in jail in 1972. But as the saying goes, you can't keep a good man down. And he became a state senator in 1977. And 3 years later, Mr. Washington moved on to national politics when he won a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, Mr. Washington faced a difficult battle in his effort to become mayor. While he clinched the Democratic nomination away from incumbent Mayor Jane Byrne, he had to deal with some questionable campaign tactics by his white Republican opponent, Bernard Epton. Epton used a slogan, quote, unquote, before it's too late. Now, we all know that that's a dog whistle. Before it's too late was the slogan that many read as to be a call for voters to prevent the first black American from getting the city's top job. Let's vote before it's too late and this Negro getting the job. That's what he was trying to say. And there were other racially oriented attacks were orchestrated by Epton's supporters. But on April 12, 1983, Mr. Washington made history when he won more than 50% of the vote to become Chicago's new mayor. But the struggle wasn't over once he won the post. See, in what is now known as the Council Wars, Mr. Washington had to wrangle with a block of city aldermen who seemed to oppose him at nearly every turn. Sounds familiar? Republican Congress, Barack Obama in the White House? Okay. Still, he managed to increase the number of contracts awarded to minority-owned businesses and made city government more transparent to the public. Mr. Washington, known as being a man of the people, invited his constituents to voice their opinions regarding the city's budget. In 1987, Mr. Washington won re-election. This time around, he had a sizable block of aldermen behind him to help him advance his plans for the city. But unfortunately, Mr. Washington died of a heart attack not long into his second term. He collapsed at his desk in City Hall on November 25th, 1987, and was declared dead at a nearby hospital that afternoon. Mr. Washington's beloved city honored him in many ways after his passing, including renaming Luke College after him. And there's the Harold Washington Library Center, which is another place that bears his name. And there, I think there's a street and there's a school that also has his name. So let's remember Harold Lee Washington, who tried to bring about change in America's second city, Chicago. Also, I would like to note that April is a very special month for me. See, today, April 15, is also the birthday of my uncle, George Aubrey Light Sr. My Uncle Aubrey, as we call him, is a Howard Bison, a PhD in pharmaceutical medicine, and a retired captain of the United States Navy. Now, I'm never quite sure whether to call him Uncle Captain Doctor or Uncle Doctor Captain. I don't know. Yesterday, April 14, was the birthday of my only sibling, my brother Jeffrey Nolan Adams, who was also a Howard Bison. Unfortunately, we lost him to cancer 18 years ago. Right? But 2 days ago, April 13, was the birthday of my great-grandmother, Emily Pinder Ince, who was born in 1888 in Danielstown, Essequibo in Guyana, South America. Happy birthday to all of you. A mighty thank you to all of our subscribers. To those of you who have not yet subscribed, we invite you to hit that subscribe button down below and add your much needed support to this project of bringing you these daily lessons. Please like and leave a comment down in the comment section. Let us know you like the program, what you're thinking, so on and so forth. But most importantly, please share, especially with the young amongst us. So, until tomorrow, inshallah, this is Baba Shaka with Today in African History. Masalam.